this is a symptom of diabetes for so long that you've had it. And I was hopeless for a little bit. And then I said, okay, give me whatever you got, sir. And he gave me psychotropic medication to relax that nerve. Now that vagus nerve is dysregulated with anxiety, stress. Tried to give this medication. I can remember my clients prescribed me multiple. It worked for my stomach, but my mind was not functioning. I could not remember my clients, and that's one of the most important things to me. I couldn't do what I'm most proud of doing in my life. I realized one day when I was eating and crying that I needed to do something, because this is not me. Let me get up and go and change something about what's going on, because I'm doing what I'm trying to treat my clients to do. That's a hypocritical, and I'm not doing that anymore. So then I got up and I started to do some research, and I took a training on integrative medicine and nutrition. It told me that being diagnosed with diabetes at 11 years old was traumatic, and trauma affects your vagus nerve. So then I'm like, oh, because I didn't know. I just gotta make it. I gotta survive. I gotta, do what I gotta do. I got diabetes. I ain't gonna let that stop me. Well, it was stopping me. And then I said, Lord, I can't live like this anymore, because I couldn't do the things that I love anymore. I couldn't even remember and serve my clients in the way that I love to do. So after that, I got up and I did that training, and I saw turmeric, and that has saved my life. I consume turmeric every day. I'm not taking that medicine anymore. And I've changed everything that I put into my body. See, my nerve's bad too, so I got my teeth here, like I said, right now, because this is new, and that's a normal response. But I learned how to treat myself with that, and that's why I'm here today, to help you guys find what diet changes possibly that you can make so that you can treat yourself without these prescription medications that cause these side effects, that cause other health issues, that dysregulate our cognitive abilities and cause mental functioning to be declined every day, and our bodies function. Okay? So, I got a question for y'all. How many of you have stress as an unofficial job? Now, what I said, what are contributing factors of stress then? Like, as being black women that we all are in here today, what we be stressing about?
Overload at work.
Why? Because we got to work a little bit harder than everybody else, huh? To be seen as valuable, yeah? But when we get used to functioning in that space, right, putting on that mask, what happens to our sleep?
You don't sleep.
I don't know about that. I sleep I must be a different breed.
Like those who some would I sleep like
Some of us sleep well. Some of us, it's harder to fall asleep. We thinking, at night, in advance, like what we gotta do for the next day.
That's true.
Right? And then we don't get the adequate amount of sleep, because our vagus nerve again is what relaxes us to be able to fall asleep. Okay? So, now what else is impacted? What about your digestive system? Your digestive system. Anybody got acid reflux? You don't feel like eating, and it just kind of, feel a little hot, burning, nausea, or any discomfort, or when you're anxious, you're nauseated, or all that is related to our body stress response. So we have to, one, be educated about what contributes to that stress response so that we can manage it. And what we consume definitely impacts that. Now, I struggle because this thing is an indicator that your body is responding to stress, I guess. Anybody got swollen feet, hands, bloating? That's how our body's telling you, trying to protect you with that inflammation. So it covers your organs, and it protects you from getting further dysregulated, sick, whatever else, right? But if you got all that going on, how do you feel? Inflammation, swelling. What do you feel like? Nobody? Heavy.
Yeah.
And then you feel confident when you're swollen. And then your body is trying to protect you, but over time, it's fighting for you. So it's your body's alarm system saying, hold on. But we don't know how to just get that swelling to go down. We say it's our hormones, which what we eat also impacts that. And we all understand as women how that impacts our functioning, right? How does our hormone impact our mental health? Like when you're on your cycle?
Adverse,
What happens?
grouchy.
You just, me too.
Hot.
All that.
Hungry.
Hungry.
And then what we be eating?
Junk food.
Right? I had to look. I couldn't find stuff in my house. I wasn't about to go to the store to buy it. And I like these. I always did. It's like a childhood memory, right? The oatmeal cake. But I don't eat them because I know my blood sugar's gonna be high and I feel bad. But sometimes if it's low, I do act up a little bit. And then when it's low, I feel like crap for a day because I ate it. Now that don't mean I ain't human first, right? And I'm gonna do what I know and what's familiar. That's what we do. We do what is familiar because it's easier, but it's not safer. And I think we tell ourselves that it is safer because it's familiar. And so I just want to challenge y'all to start looking at the ingredients. And then consider noticing what your body is telling you. Your body tells you inflammation. When you have inflammation, that it's time to change something. So what's your digestion? And also, dehydration is a big thing. Dehydration. So how do you know when you dehydrate?
Get a headache.
Headache, yeah.
Headache. What about your thinking when you dehydrate?
Stored it all over the place.
Especially because you got a headache, right? And then, but you still got to keep going. You got to keep functioning, right? Because we can't not. So then, what do? Do we listen to it, or we just keep going and then wondering why we at the doctor a few days, weeks later, because nobody told us. Your parents taught you? Checking in on yourself and slow down? Because mine didn't. No. And so we have to be intentional about what we're putting in our bodies so we can give out our best selves and actually be not responding in that stress response and not having the inflammation that leads to heart disease, stroke, even more heightened anxiety and stress and depression. Because did you know that anxiety leads to depression? How? Anybody know? What is anxiety? Ben? Stress. What is examples of that?
Consistent stress, like living in a state of
Fear.
of being overwhelming stress.
Now, I'm asking more of what it looks like when you're anxious. I was anxious this morning, right before I got up here. I ain't know. But why was I anxious?
Something different.
It's something new, right? And so when we have, how often y'all dealing with some new stuff? It's 2025. This is 2025, y'all. What we living in right now? Lord, that's all we got. Yeah, it's chaos. And so when we living in chaos, what we do is go into survival mode, which is that fight
to flight.
freeze. And then right now, because I've been doing a whole bunch of new stuff and trying to figure out how to make it work, my neck, shoulders, and back hurt. That's why I was drinking my tea. Why? Because that relaxes my muscles. Now, the one that I was drinking was GABA tea. I'm saying that outside if you want to buy some. But you want to try it, but it really helps dysregulate my nervous system. And any herbal medication can do that. Now, I was talking about turmeric, and turmeric helps with inflammation. And that helps get all the inflammation out of your body. And if you regularly consume it, it regulates your digestive system as well. Now, when we have dysregulated digestive systems, what happens to your functioning, I would say?
Regular.
Depression. What does depression look like? Because you seem like you know a little bit about it. I'm just asking, if you've seen somebody depressed, what do they look like?
You don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Stay in the bed constantly.
Yeah.
No motivation.
Patterns change, right?
I mean, what about your
Thinking.
Negative thoughts.
And that's right.
Come on.
Now, what do you consume when you're depressed, though? What you eat?
You eat or you don't?
Some people
Chocolate.
don't.
So now that's a reason. That is a reason. So when you are in that stress response, your body gets stomach. It get your heart pumps extra, to protect you from the threat. But as women in this society, there are perceived threats. Yeah. Why? Because we've had experiences that we weren't safe or protected or supported. And so with the examples that we have, we see something that looks like it, and then there's a perceived threat, even though it may not be one. Our body starts fighting, trying to protect us, and then it stays around for a long time, and then it moves blood around our body to make us stronger, smarter, faster, to respond to the threat. When that blood goes to our stomach, though, it causes more acid in your stomach. So that's why some people don't eat, and you don't have an appetite. But then, or you overeat because the acid is producing more for you to try to do something to feel better. The dopamine release, right? So, if you don't eat, what happens? If you're not eating, how do you go to work? How do you think clearly? Do you?
Functioning
feel
well.
weak.
And then that is what happens with depression. If you're thinking gets that in that distorted state, and then you don't have any of the energy, the fuel that keeps you moving forward, and your body can't produce anything to stimulate your vagus nerve, then it's over. You ain't got no energy, and you trying to run on fumes like we all probably do in this world. So what I have learned to regulate my digestive system has been herbal medicine and teas and avoiding this.
Junk food.
Now avoid it. I ain't say I don't never eat it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm human just like y'all, right? We make mistakes, but we gotta be willing, because it's not a mistake if you learn from it, right? To learn from it. So that's what I had in my house. I feel proud of myself, but that's all I had to come over here and show y'all. I'm a girl. Thank you for your support. It's a struggle. I ate a corn dog yesterday, and now,
You was at the road.
right? I was cutting up. But I need y'all to know that we can control that by being intentional. So read those ingredients, all right? Make sure you take some time to notice what you consume. And now, but what foods do you think combat inflammation? I told you one.
Turmeric.
Yeah, that's one. What else? Go ahead.
Vegetables, like different vegetables,
Garlic, yeah. What else?
Ginger.
Perfect. Now, how do you know when you have inflamed though? How do you know? Other than the swelling. Because there's other warning signs of that. How do you know? Do you know? Y'all don't know.
My knees be tight.
I would say stiffness.
That is it. Oh, your hands? Like you can't. Mine swells, but it'll swell and will be tighter than usual. But knees and so your joints. That's another thing. Did y'all know that trauma and rheumatoid arthritis or any form of arthritis is related? You know why? I told you just now. Inflammation. And trauma is an anxious disorder. Okay? So we gotta learn how and be willing to find other ways so that we can be out here on this earth and living our best lives as long as we can. And if we are intentional about what we put in it, we can be our best selves.